Hey everybody, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark, and when you get a story about a cabinet secretary with a new face having her purse stolen with $3,000 of cash, I have no choice but to discuss the details with Sam Stein, our managing editor.
That's what we
The
do.
big headline here from CNN, Kristi Noem was having dinner Easter Sunday night, and her purse was stolen by a man, a masked man. In the purse, notably, $3,000 cash, which has raised a lot of questions. Sam,
There's more things in the purse. There was more things in the purse, but that was the most notable.
Yeah, blank checks, also a makeup bag. Need the makeup bag. Medication,
DHS,
apartment case,
access badge,
a passport. I mean, it's kind of like
you
a
never
go
know.
bag.
You never know when you gotta go.
Why is the Secretary of Homeland Security carrying a go bag? I did enjoy the joke.
I didn't really appreciate the passport. Yeah. We're sure the passport was in there?
I'm reading it right now from CNN.com.
Do you carry your passport around? I don't carry my passport. I do not.
I'm not the Secretary of Homeland Security, though. Someone online noted she's not the Secretary of Handbag Security, so she's focused mostly on our homeland.
Do you think that the Secretary of Homeland Security has to present her passport when going abroad?
She just went to El Salvador for a snuff film, so it's possible that
was not that. That was weeks ago.
Does she? I would assume she has to get her passport stamped when
you're at that level.
Yeah, when she goes into El Salvador.
So that may make sense then. She's moving in and around a lot. I don't know, but I wouldn't carry my passport around to a restaurant. That's crazy.
So what do you make of this, Sam? I mean, it's kind of a funny story, but also
there's
funny an eyebrow.
Yeah, there's two eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, she can't raise any eyebrows, but for the rest of us,
stop it.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
You can't get a new face and then not expect people to notice it.
Fine,
it's fine. Like, look,
fine.
if in 20 years from now my hair is still brown, I give the TikTok YouTuber, the young smart ass TikTok YouTuber, the right to make fun of the fact that it's not my natural hair. It's just, you gotta just.
That's not your natural hair now.
It is.
That's a wig.
I'm au naturel.
All right. This is what I actually think of this.
Okay.
It's both eyebrow raising for a couple of reasons. But the primary one is she has Secret Service protection. How did someone get that close to steal her handbag? Maybe she was like up and out and, in the bathroom and someone came and swiped the bag. But where was Secret Service? Like, that's a legitimate concern. So that's the eyebrow raising elements of it. And then there's the, what is she doing with $3,000 of cash elements of it? And then there's just the sort of like, I kind of am sickly curious what restaurant. I kind of want to know, like, where does she dine in DC? How did this happen? Like, I don't know. There's a bunch of like,
there's a lot of
quirky.
Let's dial in on the Secret Service, because we've had a lot of Secret Service failures recently.
Yeah.
Most notably, obviously, the attacks on now President Trump, then candidate Trump. Carol Leonnig at the Post, your neighbor, has written a lot about this. And there've been a lot of issues within the Secret Service. I mean, it feels like this your only job. It feels like you have one job if you're at a restaurant with a principal, is to make sure that strangers a mask. I mean, I guess it was a kind of a COVID style mask, not like a black mask,
but even that would be more suggestive of someone you should have your eye on. Like, some guy walks into a restaurant with a mask on and be like, what the hell is that guy doing? It's
not here? 2021.
No. And I know. Yeah. So that whole thing is weird. And yes, this is yet another black mark for the Secret Service, who's had a number of bad incidents in the past couple of years, and Carol's been on top of all of it, written the book on it, literally. So I'm assuming there's going to be some, investigation to what went wrong. Our colleague Will Summer called up Washington, D.C. police to see if they have an incident report on this, and they referred him to Secret Service. So I guess they're taking point on this, but they fucked up.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now let's get to the bag. But really, who carries $3,000 besides Tony Soprano? Do you know anyone that carries $3,000?
I don't know.
Of cash?
No.
Like a wad, and you're just kind of.
No. Why does she have $3,000? No, I don't. What do you do with $3,000 in cash? Why do you have that in your bag?
I can't. I've been racking my brain. Like, could there be a reason that a cabinet secretary would want to have cash that a regular person wouldn't?
I mean, we presume she has credit cards.
Yeah, but I can't, like,
maybe even Apple Pay. Who knows?
I can't think of it. I mean, there's some things that come to mind, like you might not want a family member to see what you're paying money on, or a FOIA if it was a government card. I guess we could FOIA for government payments, but what would
I
be the
mean,
other
maybe she's
reason?
going in and out of the country and she needs the cash, but credit cards work and she's on a government salary and they pay for everything. There's something really weird about this. Honestly, I'm not trying to be like suggestive or conspiratorial, though it comes off this way, but carrying that amount of cash when you're a top government official seems a little bit odd to me.
Um, okay, if you're not going to be suggestive, I might. There's
Oh
another
wow,
story.
you needed the green light. Okay, go ahead.
There's another story about Kristi Noem recently, and and the person's role at the Department of Homeland Security. It was a Wall Street Journal earlier this week how Corey Lewandowski became Kristi Noem's gatekeeper at DHS. Trump's former campaign chief is working as her de facto chief of staff, despite White House concerns about their relationship. So not Tim's concerns, White House concerns about the relationship. There have been a lot of reporting that they had a kind of an affair of some kind that has been out there. So obviously they've denied
There's
it.
been denials left and right, just to be clear, but it's out there. Everyone has been reporting it. If you're not reported it, you've heard about it. It's in the ether.
And so, there have been some actual tangible on the record examples such as this. My favorite one was probably like the third best thing I've ever written for the Bulwark, which was before you came here. The headline was "The MAGA Trashiest Police Report in History." Do you remember this, Sam?
No.
Okay, we can do this together. This is October 4th, 2021, well before your time at the Bulwark. Before we were a YouTube kind of endeavor when we used our fingers, and I got tipped off by a friend. At that point, I still had some Trump friends. Like they didn't like me, but they still talked to me. None of them talk to me anymore. And they didn't like Corey. And somebody was like, "You might want to look at this police report that was just filed." And the police report was from a addiction awareness fundraiser at a Benihana in Las Vegas. It was in the private room of a Benihana. Corey was hammered. Again, this is all according to the police report. So, no wild accusations here. Corey was hammered at this addiction awareness fundraiser and started making very inappropriate advances on a married woman named Trashiest Odom.
I think I know the story.
You remember?
Go ahead.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Kristi Noem was at the fundraiser. Corey had traveled there with Kristi Noem.
Okay.
And, there were one of the things that Ms. Odom said in the report was that Corey called Kristi Noem hot while they were discussing, while they were commenting. But one of the more interesting things from the report came after the dinner when Odom and her stepson were in like the picture line to go take a picture with Kristi Noem. And she said when they went to do the photo, Noem volunteered to her that she was sorry for Corey's behavior and that she was texting Corey to stop touching her during the dinner. Mrs. Odom said that was confusing for her stepson. That is intriguing, right? That Noem and Corey had that type of relationship. She's texting him during a dinner, being like, behave. Now they're all now he's the deputy chief of staff.
Well, it's interesting that he's
chief of staff.
It's what's interesting is that he's continued to stay in this kind of shadowy role where he's in and around her political orbit. He's been working on her PAC, follows her to DC, seems to be in some ways indispensable for her, and yet there's not many fans of his inside the Trump orbit. And certainly if there were, he would have a job at the White House. So yeah, that the whole relationship is fascinating, I suppose.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And so again, who knows? There are millions. I mean, there are not a million reasons. There are a handful of reasons why you might want $30,000 in cash. Among them might be just
maybe you need to buy a dog to replace the one that you shot.
A gift or a dinner.
Yeah.
Just a dead dog.
I remember it. I got to buy a dog and I need cash.
I need cash to replace the
That's
dead
my
dog.
Theory.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe handing out tips to the jailers when you're going to take strange.
More than one person has pointed out that some of these arrests that are being made are, based on people having wads of cash. So there's
well, they mentioned several things. Had mentioned that in the Abrego Garcia case, because I misunderstood it. Actually, I should correct myself. I forget. I'm doing too many of these YouTube videos, but I should correct myself. In the past, when I said that he had wads of cash, and that wasn't true. Actually, they had the anti, the MAGA folks had made it kind of seem like that in the report. But if you read it closely, it was no, he was wearing a hoodie that had pictures of wads of cash. So like all he had was like images of wads
Images
of
of
cash.
wads.
That was enough to be more evidence of sending him to El Salvador. Whereas Kristi's just
Kristi was carrying around. Good thing she didn't have a Michael Jordan hoodie on or something like that. That would have been real.
Do you think Adrian ever had three grand in cash on her? I don't know if Christopher would have allowed that to happen. Okay, Sam Stein, thank you so much. We're going to keep a close eye on this story because our
there's a lot of office intrigue about this story for sure. The slacks are blowing up.
So there'll be more. Everybody, subscribe to the feed. Where else are you going to get this? Come to the Bulwark. That's Sam Stein. I'm Tim Miller. We'll see you soon. Hey, YouTube fam, if you want to support the Bulwark, the best way to do it is by becoming a YouTube Bulwark Plus member. The Bulwark is truly independent. We have no corporate overlords. We're not settling any dumb lawsuits with Trump. By joining, you help support our work, and you can get a bunch of perks right here on this platform. Ad-free content, bonus videos, live streams, and some emojis of me, which I guess some people want. So come join, come hang out, become a Bulwark YouTube Plus member, and I'll be seeing you in the comments. So behave.